It's a family farm and it's been in the family for generations, I suppose. I have 65 cows and I've recently transitioned over from conventional to organic dairy farming. As you get older, you realise that there's a bit more to life. This doesn't mean that you're not working for money because you have to make a living. But you realise then that there's an awful lot more value to other aspects of your farming life. When my father transferred over the farm to me, he also transferred over some beehives he had. I went at beekeeping with the same kind of a drive as I had for dairy farming. Here I was on one hand spraying all the wildflowers and on the other hand trying to get as much honey as I could. And I kind of realised then that there was something wrong. There was a balance need to be struck. And so bit by bit we started putting more land towards space for nature, pushing the boundary out all the time where we were happy enough to allow this area to go to nature and making sure our profits were still intact. A couple of years ago, I went to the Netherlands and looked at a project that was over there where they were looking after godwits, actually, they're a wader bird, but they were nesting in silage ground. A lot of farmers came together. They delayed mowing so that the birds and the chicks could feed. They designed this results-based payment where the more chicks that were hatched out of a year and that were reared, the higher the payment the farmer was getting. And I thought, wow, this is groundbreaking stuff. When I came back home, I said this to a couple of friends of mine, and we decided we needed to create something similar at a landscape scale, which was the Bride Valley, and draw up management plans for farms that they could improve biodiversity, improve water quality, lower their carbon footprint, and that was the makings of the Bride Project. The Bride Project, it was hugely successful. We had 43 farmers. They all carried out their management plans. They all increased their space for nature. And we had to design something that you could concretely say, this result is better than that result, so you get a better payment. So that was the Farmland Biodiversity Index, the FBI. And then Bioregional Weaving Lab came about. They were talking about these 4 returns. The obvious next step for me then was maybe we could combine the both of them and create a sustainable farming index for dairying based on the 4 returns, so that now we are not only looking at the financial return that you get from dairying, but also what are you contributing environmentally? What are you contributing socially? With the Bride Project, we had a 43 farm discussion group, and the social aspect of that is hugely important. When you have farmers depending on other farmers, then you have a circular economy, then you have a sustainable economy.
Village of Dunhill is part of the Copper Coast UNESCO Geopark, and we're very lucky to be in such a fabulous location. In order to be able to exist here, we need to have sustainable opportunities. Dunhill Eco Park is heading into its 25th year this year. At the moment, we've got about 38 businesses operating out of the Eco Park, and my role is with the education centres, and our remit is to create a place where people can live and work and build community. People can make change in their own communities, but can we make change of scale? So maybe the bioregion is an opportunity for us to make change on a bigger scale, sharing and doing it together. It's a sort of bottom-up change making. One of the things we're looking at within the education side of it is looking at and offering in regenerative agriculture. So sort of bringing people back out, looking at what they're doing, looking at how the impacts on the environment, looking at the impacts on the society, looking at the impacts on the economy, and trying to take those returns along with the inspiration return and really build that regenerative knowledge so that the generation that we are in now and the generations going forward can sort of take those practices, bring what's out there and bring it back into the community. The concept of returning to the environment is something that we've always done. Returning to society and engaging society in what we're doing. The education piece is very much about inspiration and sharing knowledge. We're often dealing at a local authority or at an organisational level. So meeting farmers, meeting different community groups that we wouldn't necessarily have come across, that's been very interesting to take it down to that grassroots level. I think we've learned about a new way of measuring and reporting on impact. Often you're so busy caught up in the day-to-day doing that you forget about thinking about what it is that you impact on. We're delighted to be in the Southeast bioregion. It gives us an opportunity to not only learn from our bioregion, but you could learn from Portugal. Have you seen what they're doing? You could learn from Spain. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
We've been here about a year and a half now, and it's been a 10-year dream in the making. to start a small regenerative farm to show that we can produce food in harmony with nature. This passion for regenerative farming for me really came from the realization that ever since we've had civilizations, we've had agriculture. The way we work with nature defines how we can thrive as civilizations. So if we get agriculture right, we can do all the things we'd like to do. For example, the aronia berries behind me are a new crop, and specifically in this region, and we grow them with commercial potential, but also there's agroforestry mixed in to try and add some other sort of benefits to it and experiment with something new. So a couple of years ago, I would have been quite negative about farmers' impact on the environment. But then I got stuck on but I also don't want farmers to lose. So the 4 returns helps me, how can the benefit be really for all? So yes, benefit to nature, and benefit to the farmer, and benefit to the economy, and benefit for inspiration as a purpose or a meaning of people. Through collaboration, we can reach impact in a better way than alone, and in our societal structures, we have made it very difficult to collaborate. So for me, the Bioregioning Weaving Lab is to overcome some of the barriers and make collaboration easier. I guess what's been great about the uptake in the neighborhood is that it's been really appreciated by our neighbors that we're also actually farming, that this is not a holiday home and we're coming to visit, but that we're actually putting down roots and actually growing crops. And we've been able to collaborate already very concretely. So where our neighbor has sheep on the uplands and has wool almost as a waste product, we were able to take his wool and use that as mulch in the aronia berries. Within the first season, those kinds of collaborations already naturally emerged, and that's been great. If they would call us now and say, can you come and help, we would go up and help them. So there's that connection very strongly. So my dream is that in 20 years, this place has become a vessel for change, that it has inspired other farmers to grow aronia berries or other crops, that people have come here and an experience relating to nature as well as food, that has inspired them to change their diets or to buy differently, that it is one puzzle piece of a bigger story, a tapestry of lots of local food producers, and that we have played a part in that.